Hey there, everybody. Welcome back with the Plat. Purplatypus is the name, and welcome back. Today, we are doing a unit review. Not on Ruff. We already talked about you. No one likes you, Ruff, except everyone is a huge fan of you, me included. Someone said Ruff is a better Dragwire. I think it was Pack Demon. I would believe that. Don't have that unit, so I didn't make the comparison. But we're just going to jump into the unit review. Keep in mind, when you're doing these banners, you are guaranteed to get them at your 150th pull if you're doing Maltese with gems. So keep that in mind. So they're slightly lower investment. They're only $100 to get guaranteed one instead of $200 to maybe get one, which isn't guaranteed. That is guaranteed. And in fact, yeah, you're guaranteed. How does it work? You're guaranteed the banner unit at 150 pulls with gems. Then you're guaranteed an S unit at both 100 and 200 pulls, and you're guaranteed a dupe at 300 pulls. So at at 200 pulls, you might be able to. You're getting guaranteed 3 units, S units. So you could get a double awaken if you got lucky. But anyway, that is besides the point. Let us go here to the special. I'm gonna do a unit review also for the new A unit that we can grind with Swoosh, but I don't have them yet, but I'm getting close, and that's where I'm spending my stamina right now, although I don't need to waste all my stamina, which is awesome. Anyway, I've been playing Tact for fun. Like, I've been playing it a lot for fun. Anyway, we'll just get into it. I'm already 2 minutes into the video. I haven't even talked about the unit. All right, Maribel. Maribel is a very cool unit. I'm a huge fan of it, just to get it out of the way. 861 HP. What's interesting about that is Ruff has 867. So a measly 6 HP difference is the difference here. And this is a unit that is gonna Ruff, I think, stays kind of far away, but this unit is a through and through caster, so that is good. 433 wisdom. Now that sounds really high. That sounds like 30 points higher than Zoma. However, keep in mind this is level 120, so that's probably right about where you could expect the Zomas and stuff to be at as well. The Zomas, Dragon Lords, you know, that stuff. Attack 286, I assume that's irrelevant. 282 defense, though, is fucking low. That's very low. Even that agility at 367, the game's getting power crept enough where that's pretty low, too. So they have a pretty good HP pool, but you do not want them to get hit by a physical attack. They are going to just absolutely dissolve. 500 straight MP, though, is kind of cool. 2 movement. Let's see, does she get any other movement? She does not. They have spell tricks. So they start with Lovely Lady, and then at Awaken 1, you get spell tricks. Let's take a look at what those are. So the one you get without any awakenings. When using spell attacks, raises spell potency by 10% for 1 turn. Okay, so this sounds good, but it's actually great, I believe, because when you cast this, you can stack it, I'm sure, right? I don't think you could stack the 10%. I don't think it gets better, but the 1 turn thing, if you cast every turn, I think it goes up to 2 turns and goes up to 3 turns. So I think I might be wrong about that, but let's say you cast it, because I assume it doesn't go away at the end of your turn. I assume it goes away at the end of your next turn because you're getting it that turn, right? And so if you get it that turn and then you cast it next turn, it's going to refresh it to 2 turns. That means if you did attack 1, attack 2, and then you didn't, and then you would still have the buff for your 3rd attack, I believe. So is it effectively that big of a deal? I don't think so, actually. I don't really think it matters unless the actual increase stacks. But otherwise, yeah, I don't think it matters. I think it just means 10%. If there's something I'm not understanding about this, actually, let me know in the comments. But I do believe the 1 turn thing, you can get it to stack a couple times, probably up to 3 turns, as most things. But I think it's still going to be capped at the 10% potency. Still, 10% potency and effects could potentially be pretty great. No scroll, so we'll see what the effects means. Spell tricks, lower spell ability MP cost, raises potency and effect. Like, it's unexciting, but the MP thing could be pretty good for some extra casts. Now, Maribel Frizzle deals moderate Frizz type spell damage to 1 enemy. So I think this does exactly Frizzle. I think it does the exact same amount of damage that Frizzle does. But you can see this is a range of 4. A range of 4. Fuck. I think that might be one of the first abilities with a range of 4. So this is better than Frizzle. I don't think this ability is amazing. You're probably not going to be using it much, but it is a good ability, right? It'll let you hit things that would sometimes be out of range because of her 2 movement. So I think this has got definitely some potential. I don't love the ability, but it is very cool, and I like that she has her own more powerful version of a normally B rank spell. Hopefully this is B rank too. You don't have to upgrade it with super scrolls. Swoosh plus. So this is another Swoosh unit, so White King won't be alone. And we actually have an A unit with Swoosh now, which is so insane. But especially for a free-to-play unit. I mean, it's semi-free-to-play. You have to grind it forever. But anyway, deals major whoosh-type spell damage to all enemies in area of effect. Again, this... well, it still has range 3. So I assume that this does more damage than Swoosh. I assume it's slightly more powerful. It has to be, right? Because it's Swoosh plus. It doesn't have any more range on it. It's still range 3, 1, 2, 3, just like White King. Same attacks, you know, the 3 squares. So this has to do slightly more damage, which makes this probably funnily enough, this is probably not better than White King. It might be, but it's probably not. But you look here at her abilities, right? What does she not get potency to, right? She's not going to get any potency to the plus, right? To the Swoosh. But if you come here and you look at Mr. White King here, of as you can see, right, he get all of his stuff is Swoosh potency, all of it. All of his bonuses are Swoosh potency. So unless it's significantly stronger, it's likely gonna be the fact that it does more damage probably compensates for the fact that it has no built-in potency. And that in her passive to do 10% potency means it might be stronger than White King's, which would be insane because it'd be the strongest in the game then, Swoosh. But it's likely going to be closer to on par than you would think because there's no outside benefits directly with the potency here. But that being said, it's still a great ability. And Firebird, range 3, Frizz spell, so it's an actual Frizzle, but deals unreflectable major Frizz type spell damage to one enemy. So this is going to be Frizz, but it's better than Frizz because it is unreflectable. So this is basically Dragon Lord's Frizz, not his super good ability, but his other one. But this is going to be unreflectable. I think that's a little situational. You don't like Dragon Lord already has Frizz, which is probably gonna. This might do a little bit more damage. I don't know exactly again the damage numbers because these don't show potencies. But assuming that this is Frizz with more upside, that's good. But it's not like a super ultimate mega ability. But I still like it, and this will be stronger than a normal Frizz because she is getting potency bonuses on this, and she has some pretty built-in good stuff. What was her leadership ability before we get to the end there? Frizz type potency 10%. I'm not gonna lie, I love this. I love this. This affects Nimzo, it affects Dragon Lord, and it affects that new physical Frizz user all on the same team. Very good. That's like White King levels of good, I think. Maybe a little more narrow, but I like that a lot. And then her hero ability, turns needed 4. That is a long time, and it's usable once. However, this is an incredible ability. Deals major Frizz type spell damage to all enemies in area of effect. It's a 3x3 square, so this hits fucking everything. And it's gonna be very, very powerful. I still don't know if this is gonna be more powerful. So, like, the issues I have with this ability, it's an incredible ability, right? But turns needed 4. That's that's really long, right? And the issue with a lot of fights, almost like every fight in the game, almost, besides a few narrow ones where they summon reinforcements, this is a 3x3 square. Like, are you gonna hit? Almost everything's gonna be dead at this point by turn 4. Like, battles end on turn 5, turn 6 for long fights, and some super long fights against individual enemies are like turn 10, right? But most of the time, if it's a lot of enemies, which this is good at hitting a lot of enemies, it's gonna be over by turn 3, 4, 5. So the fact that this doesn't even get started until turn 4 means that this is probably not incredible in the way it feels when you're playing. And especially if it doesn't do more damage than Firebird. If this is the same amount of damage as Firebird, based off the wording, you know, it's reasonable to assume that, then this ability kind of sucks. only because the turns needed 4. Like, it's not a actually bad ability. If you're using this ability, it's cool and it's good, but having to wait so long to use it, I think might kind of, besides like specific fights where they summon reinforcements, I think this will probably be bad most of the time. Firebird, on the other hand, I was already talking about it. I do think it's a bit better than I was saying before. There's been a lot of fights, I mean a lot, where it's annoying because the enemies have just reflect for the first 3 turns of combat. Being able to, and so you have to use physical attackers, but they have high defense, right? And so being able to have this to kind of, like, there are times where Dragon Lord, I'm like, okay, he's my best unit for this fight, but I can't use him for 3 turns because they're not fucking, can't get through for damage. And this wouldn't have that problem, right? You could just get him for damage right away. And you even have coverage here too. So overall, I think Maribel is probably the weaker of the 2 units. I personally love the leadership ability. I personally like the Swoosh Plus, but the thing is, like, do you need a Frizzle with range 4? Nah, probably not. Do you need a Swoosh Plus? Not really, probably not. Not if you have White King, who's free to play. Do you need Firebird? Firebird's kind of cool, but is it like spend a lot of money on to get? Probably not. The super ability, it's cool. It takes, I would rather have a scroll slot personally. And I'm excited to see this ability go off sometime, probably against me, because I'm probably not going to get this unit, but still, like, it could be cool. I think the best thing about her might be that leadership ability in my eyes personally. Super weak to sleep is not ideal. Immune to confusion's actually kind of nice. But overall, I'm not super impressed with this unit, but however, like, this is at the same time worth mentioning that this lovely lady might be way stronger. The lovely lady, 10% passive buff plus the spell tricks of extra potency plus her leadership ability might just mean her damage is kind of insane. It's kind of hard to know unless I play it. I mean, her damage is going to be high. There's no doubt about that. But is it going to be significantly better than the units that we've had? Like, most people have Dragon Lord at this point. I know it's still a banner unit, but it's been in a lot of group banners with a lot, like the anniversary stuff where you get 100 free pulls, you get 70 free pulls here, you could pull it. So a lot of people have Dragon Lord at this point, especially because he was the first, like, big banner and people kind of pulled for him anyway because he had the free to play gems. And so I don't know if she's like that much better, especially with the talent bloom thing now. I think she might be good down the line, but if she gets talent bloom, but I don't think she's worth the investment personally. But if you do pull her, I definitely think she could be very, very good. Slightly redundant in my team comp, but I still like her and I would love to have her. I'm just not going to invest gems into getting her. But I think that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much. Purplatypus is Purplatypus. If you like what you saw, leave a like. Leave a subscribe. You're probably all subscribed anyway, but if you're not, you know, whatever. That would be nice if you did. Anyway, peace out. Much love. Purplatypus is Purplatypus. Have a good night.